The instant you reach your goal, that beautiful emptiness, that Zen moment of no desires, a fleeting few seconds of peace after months of suffering.
And I just want to say one thing. Yes. Congratulations.
Yes.
To Mr. Brian Rose. First Ironman, he killed it. Beat my ass. And, yeah, he put the work in. 100% plant-based. His whole training camp under Samantha Murphy. But there it is.
This wasn't about finishing the Ironman. It wasn't about the diet or the brutal training. It was about confronting my past. The dark secrets I was ashamed of that continued to pollute every decision in my life. I had to let go of the mistakes, the embarrassment, and the people I let down, to forgive myself and those who had done me wrong. John Joseph taught me this, and now I had to do something for him. Like all of us, he's a contradiction. A monk, a punk, a visionary, a street fighter. John had taught me to forgive, but could he? I had to ask him the question that no one else could.
You get on such a high, and I mean, your endorphins are going through the fucking roof. You know, you're putting in months and months of training to bring to that plateau, and then it's like you're just emptying the tanks of everything, and then the next day you have time to like reflect and be like, but it's like a thing, you're like looking for like, okay, how do I get back to that?
I mean, I'm just trying to get my head around this challenge thing, because kind of guys like us are always like, what's the next challenge? And what's the next challenge? And like part of that got me here, so I respect it. But then part of me also wonders, can I be happy without those challenges?
No, I can't. Because if we as humans are not tested, then we don't advance. Those tests are put there to force us to push through shit. Like, people that are like try to avoid challenges and being tested, they're not getting anywhere in life. By willingly placing yourself into difficult situations, you advance.
You're already locked on to that next race in 6 months. And then you mentioned it to me right after the race, and Samantha did too. And look, I mean, I'm a goal-oriented guy. I think it's a beautiful thing. But then part of me also wonders, am I still searching for the next challenge? And does there need to be some peace somewhere in between where you're just happy being you? Is this not itself some kind of addiction in itself?
Sure, but to do what you love, you know, there's destructive addictions. If you don't replace the negative things in your life with positive actions, meditation, and all this other stuff that goes hand in hand, you're just gonna keep falling victim. Why does my brother constantly keep relapsing into drugs? He called me right before this race, I'm dying. Fuck you, you don't even call me anymore, I'm fucking dying. And he is dying. You know, he's dying because of the choices he made. Hit the bottle, do the pills, do the drugs, eat the bad food. That's the thing about choice.
You know, I was talking to that guy, Dr. Gabor Mate, and he's always saying that, you know, a lot of this stuff goes back to childhood trauma. And, you know, look, compared to your life, I didn't have any trauma, but when you're 7 years old, everything feels like trauma, you know? And he's always saying, like, Brian, is this behavior rooted in something? You know, I know you said that part of the reason you probably went into performing and stuff was because, like, feeling inadequate. But do you ever think about that and forgiveness and how that affects your life going forward?
I mean, there's the two dudes that did that shit to me in that home. I've never encountered them before. I even went back to the foster home and knocked on the door. And I'm glad they weren't there, because I think when I do see them, it's like I'm gonna be like, yo, you put your hands on me and did this shit when I was a kid and couldn't defend myself, but now what? And I think that's gonna be there. I'm not, you know, I could try to speculate however I'm gonna act toward that, but I already know what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen?
I'm gonna fucking snatch him up. I'm not.
What would
that's just
Prabhupada say about that?
Prabhupada would say that a child abuser should get his ass kicked. I don't have that inner strength to be like, oh yeah, okay, you did that to me, I forgive you. Nah, no.
So you're human.
I'm human, man. I'm just as human as anybody else. The real growth was that I gave up that hate because I just moved on to another place of indifference. You could say it's worse, but I say it's what I had to do. You know, just block them out. And that's not to say if I don't see whoever, I'm not gonna, that's street New York. Fucking, I'm like a fucking Irish motherfucker from the Lower East Side. I'm not gonna not say nothing.
In 2001, I nearly died from a heroin overdose. That's why I'm dedicating my very first Ironman race to help those similarly addicted by raising money for Addaction, one of the UK's leading mental health, drug, and alcohol charities. Thank you.